Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're tuned in to the Crew Podcast and Media Network, where voices rise, stories shine, and purpose meets the world.
Welcome to the Crew. Come on in. This is where it starts. We are the change. We are the change. Right here in our hearts. Welcome home, welcome through. There's a place for you. The Crew around the world, lifting every voice too. We make space for the voiceless, hope for the undeserved. Real talk, real stories. Every voice deserves to be heard. Streaming live, we on the move. Facebook, Twitch, Kick, YouTube. From the mic to the nations, we build transformation. Change begins with us. Faith, purpose, power, trust. Seen around the world tonight. The Crew shining bright. Come on in. This is where it starts. We are the change. We are the change. Right here in our hearts. Welcome home, welcome through. There's a place for you. The Crew around the world, lifting every voice too. Tune in nightly, Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Miss the live, catch the replay, 15, 20, more behind. We are the change. There's a story in the silence, a cry in the night. There's a voice that needs a platform. There's a fight for what's right. Shannon W. Johnson on the mic, speaking truth today. For the hurting and the healing, she makes a way. Justice in the room, healing in the line, purpose in the pain, every word aligned, breaking every silence, calling every name. When she said, let's talk about it, nothing stays the same. Let's talk about it,
Bring it to light.
Shannon W. Johnson,
Speaking truth tonight.
for the voiceless,
For the voiceless.
for the unheard.
Let's talk about it.
Let the healing
Healing be heard.
be heard.
Let the healing be heard.
Oh, they say,
Healing be heard.
first and third Mondays, come sit for a while. Stories of courage, hope in every mile. Wrongful convictions, systems that divide. She stands with the people, walking by their side. From trauma to triumph, from silence to sound, she makes room for change where the truth is found. Justice in the room, healing in the line, purpose in the pain, every word alive. Johnson in Big Cracken,
Bring it to light.
Shannon W. Johnson,
Speaking truth tonight.
for the
For
voiceless,
the voiceless.
for the unheard.
Let's talk about it.
Let the healing
Heal be heard.
be heard.
Let the healing be heard.
Let the healing
The healing be heard.
advocacy meets action. Truth meets grace. Every wounded heart It's a safer place. The people have a pulse, and the future's in view.
Well, hello there. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Let's Talk About It. I am your host, Shanette Johnson. On today, we just going to talk. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we just going to talk. I have my camera off today because I not too long ago got off work and I dozed off. And Angela had to call me, so we're just going to talk. And last week, let's see, I believe it was a week ago, I flew into Denver to see my husband, who is currently incarcerated on a wrongful conviction that occurred 17 years. July 21st marked 17 years that he has been incarcerated wrongfully. Even though we only been married in 2022, got married in 2022, I wasn't there in the beginning. We didn't get reconnected until June of 2022. And ever since I was a um a, a child, I always had the passion for injustice, right and wrong. Could nobody tell me nothing about someone in my family, a family member, because I was going to stand by them no matter what. That's how passionate it was for me. And then I graduated in 89 and I went to college. And my major was criminal justice. That always been a part of my life. Even though I didn't finish finish my course because, life happens. And I became a commercial driver. So fast forwarded until 2021 when I resigned from my job to care for my son. I worked for Metro, and I resigned from Metro to care for my son as he had congestive heart failure. I was able to spend a year and some months with him. I didn't know that he was going to transition in 2023. And I thank God for allowing me to be able to spend the last year and couple of months with him. And during that time, God has started putting people in my life. And I didn't know. First, he brought wine back in my life. And I started advocating on his behalf, just reaching out to people. And then I seen a Facebook post And I answered it, and it was nobody but Angela. And Angela invited me to come on her show, and which was supposed to take place in November. I believe it was after Thanksgiving or a little before Thanksgiving. And little did I know, November 10th, I will find my son unresponsive in his room. So instead of me canceling the show, I still went on that show and used my voice to bring awareness to what was going on in Juan's case, while yet I was preparing to lay my son to rest. After I laid my son to rest, Angela posted, I seen another post from Angela looking for someone to fill some a slot for podcasting, and I talked it over to Juan, talked it over with Juan, and I said, we need to get your information out there. We need to get your case out there, bring awareness to it. And we talked about it, and we, I was going back and forth. Am I ready? Can I use my voice to bring awareness to injustice, to put it out there? Mainly just talk to him, just to get out his case. I didn't know that this was going to cause me to keep going. His case would cause me to keep going, speaking out. But November 5th, 2024, no, February 5th, 2024, is the first time I did a podcast by myself. And I was so nervous. And to this day, I still get nervous. And I remember stumbling over my words and trying to stay focused and everything. But Angela and the other ladies, they they cheered me on. They just motivated me to keep going. Just keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. And so I got through that year speaking out, talking to men from Denver, from California, from Texas. I met Mr. Legate, Cornell. Oh my God, I met a lot of men, and formed a relationship with them. And they was like, Shanette, we want you to speak out on our behalf. We believe in you. We believe in you. They believed in me, but guess what? I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I can do it because I was stumbling over my words. I knew I can do it, but it was just something that was inside of me that I was scared of, and that was failure. I I was afraid of failing, that I couldn't get their messages out there. I couldn't be the voice that they wanted me to be. And then I started letting a lot of stuff consume me, and I was going to walk away because I wanted to have a powerful voice. I wanted my voice to be heard. I wanted their stories to live in people's minds when people go to sleep or when they thinking about the wrongful conviction about these men, Mr. Legate, um, Earl Bryant, Juan Johnson, Glenn Kemp. The the list goes on. When they think about them, their names, just sit there and just ponder on you sitting in jail wrongfully because somebody said something that you did and you didn't. You miss birthdays, you miss birthdays, holidays, your parents passed away, your aunties passed away, uncles, children's passing away, and you fighting for your life. And they depended on me. They had so much confidence in me to get their messages out. And they still do. They call me and they be like, "Come on, sis, you got to speak for us." Nobody else is going to speak for us. I was talking to Angela yesterday, and when she talks, she has this powerful voice. And she make you think. And I had to think. I had to sit there and I had to think. I had to reevaluate it. Like, what do I really want? What do I really want to do with Let's Talk About It? Do I want to be the voice? Do I want to fight? Do I want to keep going? Or what? And my answer is yes. I do want to keep going. I want to be that voice for the men and women that are currently incarcerated in prison wrongfully. I want their truth to be told. Currently, we have in prison, I'm going to give you the exact number. Um, Bear with me one moment. Let me get this together. Currently, it's estimated that 46,000 to 230,000 men and women are in prison wrongfully. And 2 to 10% of their convictions are errors. And you are errors that people make. Some are in prison for identity. People say, "Oh yeah, that was that person." But 35 or 40 years down the line, it comes back. It wasn't that person. DNA done proved over and over that some of these men and women didn't commit the crime. Didn't commit the crime that they're currently in prison for. But yet and still, everybody go quiet. You don't want to speak up on that. Everybody speak up on, I'm not going to say everybody, let me rephrase that. People are, I don't know if they're afraid to speak up on injustice, or if they just don't care. Long as somebody's serving the time for um someone that oh, let me get my words together. Long as somebody's sitting in prison for that crime, don't nobody care. Just throw them away. Now we see the men, well, the young men going to prison at an early age. I heard, I believe it was a couple of months ago, where one governor, or I forgot his title, but he said that the ones that are in prison are getting older, so they can't do the work. So they taking the young ones in now to do the work. When I was in Denver, my husband, he waxed the floors. They was having an audit where he's at. So they would ask him, "Hey, you want to do the floors? Can you wash the floor? Can you wax the floors?" So he would scrape up all that old wax, and then they would come in, him and another man will come in, and they will wax the floor. Something that they can get thousands of dollars for, make thousands of dollars for, doing it their own self. But you know how much they got paid? Nothing. Nothing. I seen them floors. The floors look like they paid somebody to come in there and do it. And they just didn't do one building. They had them do probably two buildings. And then they still asked them, they still told them, asked them, can they do another building? All because they being audited. So they getting free labor. Free labor. You got men in there that's sick and they don't care. I had it's a man that's in there with my husband, a spider bit him. And the first time it set up infection. So they took him to a hospital. We understand protocol and everything that, for the safety. They can't tell the family what exact hospital they in. But they don't call the family either to let them know that they loved one is in a hospital and that they fighting for their life. Or they had to have surgery. Because he had to have surgery. And when he came back, he had a vacuum on his leg. They said his, the hole was big from where they went down in there, and they actually dug too deep into his leg. He was there. I think he was back for like a week. Then he got sick again. And they took him out. And his sister didn't know that he was in a hospital until they called me and told me to get in contact with his sister to let the family know that he's in the hospital. Come to find out, they was thinking that the infection came back in the leg that the spider bit him in, but it didn't. It came, he had an infection in the other leg. And that one almost took him out. It's so much stuff that's going on behind that wall. And I'm advocating, I'm talking to the ones that have loved ones that's currently incarcerated. Check on your family. Check on them. Let them know that, you there. Some of the states have free calls. Colorado just they calls is free now. California calls being free. They on the tablets. You can just write. You can send them a message on the tablet. Just, hey, I'm thinking about you. Hey, we want to know if you still good or what. Check on them. That's all we have to do. Check on your loved ones. You don't know about their mental condition that's going about their mental. A lot of people say, yeah, they put themselves in there. Some of them did, some of them didn't. The system put them in there because they're wrongfully and they're fighting to get out. They have to fight to get out compared to someone that did the crime. They get dates and they come home and they go out and they reoffend and go right back in. But you have men and women that's fighting to come home. That's just give me that one chance and I will show you. Some of them are getting a chance after 20 and 30 years. Tomorrow, Rory Atkins is finally getting released. And he been gone for, I believe they said 35 to 40 years. 35 to 40 years taken out of his life. I see Angela. Hey, Angela.
Hey, Jeanette. So I was just looking at some stuff while you were talking, and I looked up black males under 30 in prison, and it just it just it's just mind boggling. It
Ain't it?
says that 23% of black male prisoners are in state and federal facilities are age 29 or younger. It said based on recent overall prison population, this represents roughly 80 to 90,000 individuals. And that is report from the Bureau of Justice, some statistics from that. It says the U.S. holds roughly 1.2 million people in state and federal prisons. Black inmates make up 32 to 37% of total prison population. It says that wrongful conviction, black individuals account for more than 53% of all exonerations documented since 1989. It said Black America are 7 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of serious crime than white America.
Hmm. And that's something to think about. And everybody always say, well, let me go back. People always say that that's not true. That race does not play a part of certain things. And it does.
And that's just a few. It goes on to say the disparity by crime category. It say the racial disparity in wrongful convictions are most heavily concentrated in three major types of cases. Number one, drug cases. Innocent black people are 19 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of a drug offense than white people, despite data showing both groups use illegal substance at a similar rate. And that is a statistic from the Equal Justice Incentive. It says sexual assault. Black individuals are 8 times more likely to be falsely convicted of sexual assault. This is a largely driven by cross-racial eyewitness misidentification, particularly involving white victims and black defendants. And this comes from the Equal Justice Incentive as well. It says murder. Black America are 7.5 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of murder. If the victim in the case is white, the risk of wrongful conviction for a black defendant escalates significant. And this comes from um, the death penalty information. And that's just the top three. And
And
that really, when people say that race does not play a part in it, and I'm going to share this with you too for our listeners, for those that are tuning in. It says the core drivers of wrong conviction. It says several systematic failures contribute to the disproportionate rate of Black America that are falsely convicted. The number one cause is official misconduct. That means either involving officers or prosecutorial misconduct. That can be from evidence, coercion. It can range from different things. The number two, racial profiling. Black communities are often um, profiled. It says black individuals at the very start of the legal pipeline. They are targeted, they are vigorously targeted, policing and racial profiling within the black communities to create an artificial over presentation of black individuals at the very start of the legal pipeline. And that comes from the SSRN library. It says the lack of jury diversity. All white and non-representative juries are statistically more likely to apply racial stereotypes, spend less time deliberating, overlooking weaknesses in the prosecution evidence. And this is data from the Innocent Project. And Shanette, we just witnessed that with the Camelo Anthony's case.
yes, yes.
We just witnessed that. We
And you
just
know,
witnessed one and number three. And then the fourth one is plea bargaining pressure. It says due to the high cash bail and systematic disadvantage in pretrial detention, innocent defendants frequently accept plea deals simply to escape immediate incarceration to secure a shorter sentence. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It says, on an average, innocent black people spend 13.8 years wrongfully in prison before being cleared, which is roughly 45% longer than the time served by innocent white individuals. It says in murder cases, significant black exonerees wait an average of 3 years longer to be freed, and they make up 56% of all death row exonerees in the United States.
Hmm.
Wow. 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 You know, there's so many people, and before, I'm going to say 2020, I really didn't know that this was such a big problem, because I wasn't somebody that really did a whole lot of research. And I
Right.
was one of the people, if it wasn't affecting my family, then I wouldn't dive into it. But when I began to see that there were so many people, just hearing these people's story, like my heart aches. I just don't see how people can lie. And then what we're seeing with the Nolan Wells case, it's just
Hmm.
like people have no sense of, they have no values, they have no morals, they have no nothing. People are willing to do anything to save themselves and not be concerned about anyone else. And we see it play out so often. And these white people will rally around each other with a lie. We saw it in the Carmelo Anthony case. We seen it play out in the Nolan Wells case. And we see it happen in so many other cases surrounding our black kids.
And you know
It,
what? And I
our
also,
are the
since you brung that up, um, I want to, I be trying to wrap my mind around how can another black person condemn Carmelo? How can you say, well, if he didn't bring that to the track meet, or if he would have just walked away? How many of you guys are out there? Be honest with yourself. Is telling your kids to walk away.
well, you see what happened when Cyrus walked away. We see what happened when there's a young lady on TikTok. She taught her son to walk away. Her son walked away and got murdered. When we walk away, things still happen. So when is enough gonna be enough, Shanette? Like anytime something happened to our kids, it's always a problem. And we're always in the wrong. No matter what it looked like. I mean, the evidence is there. We know that something happened to Nolan on that island. We know that he didn't unalive himself.
Right.
Every, every so often we see that these people are unaliving themselves, and we know that that's not something that we do. But they're so
Mm-mm.
quick to say that it's self-inflicted, or they so quick to say that it was an accidental drowning, or they're so quick to say something that would clear everybody else involved.
What
Now,
what is that
did you
young man
how quick
name?
they
What's
arrested Carmelo? They arrested Carmelo on the spot, and he told them that he was defending himself. Never was given a chance to be to investigate on the spot to see what happened. They immediately arrested him. But these white boys get a chance to come back from the island. They get a chance to lawyer up. If I ain't did nothing, Shanette, why am I gonna lawyer up? Let me tell you an
exactly?
incident that happened to me. Let me tell you something that happened to me when I was living in Atlanta. I dropped my car off at a shop to get fixed. So the guy told me that they were gonna keep my car. I dropped it off on a Tuesday. He said I could come pick it up on Friday. So I went and picked my car up on Friday. Saturday, I was at work, and I got a call from the East Point Police Department telling me that I needed to come to the police department, telling me that um, it was very important that I came to the police department. So I clocked out and I went to the police department. They said that my car had been involved in a armed robbery, and they needed to question me. I told them that, when did this happen? And I told them that I don't own no weapons and I had not been involved in no armed robbery. I said that I just picked my car up from the shop on yesterday at about 3 or 4 p.m. So I asked them, I said, well, when was this robbery? When was this robbery supposed to have happened? And they told me when it supposedly happened. I said, I was probably at work when that happened. And I can prove that I was at work. And I asked them, I said, well, are y'all arresting me? They said, no, we just needed to question you, but just know that we may be bringing you back in for more questions or whatever. I never heard from the people again, Shanette, because I knew that I had not done anything. I went right back to work and I kept on going with my life because I knew I hadn't done anything. I
Right.
was a college student. I'm playing basketball. What do I look like robbing somebody? I'm in college at Morris Brown on the basketball team. What do I look like robbing somebody? Come on now. I told them, y'all better do y'all research.
Yeah. They just they just trying to get a conviction. Is you mentioned Noel. What's the young man that they said wrapped he wrapped himself up in a mat, or he fell in the mat,
Kendrick
and
Jackson. Kendrick
his mother
Johnson.
haven't got no
Kendrick Johnson from Valdosta, Georgia. Yeah. Impossible. And then the suspect, one of the suspects, he's now went on and committed another crime. They always gonna offend again. But see, these white tea people, all they want to do is pat their kids on the back in white privilege. But see, what is happening is, one of these kids is a football, supposedly football celebrity, supposedly going to be drafted to the NFL, and they don't want to mess up his career. That's what that is all about.
but
But he shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have
if
put
he
his
was
hand on Nolan.
if he was a black man, they wouldn't care if he played basketball, did anything. His tail would be locked right on up.
You see what happened to that young guy that was where he was from? I forget the young guy's name, but they lied on him, and they said that he had been involved in an accident, and that something had
Oh
happened, and that they
yeah.
was going to arrest him, and he committed suicide. And then right after he committed suicide, they said that he didn't do it.
Yeah. We got
That's just
look at
that's
Emmett
what's
Till.
gonna ruin his football career. But that's what they do. They don't care about us. But when it comes to them, you better believe they're gonna rally around everybody in that state. Mississippi, I was looking at the statistics as well. Mississippi is one of the states that's on this thing. That matter of fact, they are number one. They are number one in wrongful convictions, and they are number one in black men under 29, age 29 and under. They are number one.
Hmm.
And see, we not even gonna talk about a lot of the stuff that has been happening in that state concerning our people.
What about that
Concerning
little what was that little boy that was in foster care that was drowned and stabbed like what 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, that was in McCormick, South Carolina. That happened on July 20th. And he had not been in that house for 12 hours, and that happened. Some people need to be held accountable, and they need to get justice for that baby. He was only 13 years old. Hadn't even hadn't even began to live no type of life.
But you see that that's not all over the news media. That they only put out what they want us to know, and they hide
Yeah.
everything else.
Now we all know that if it was a white person, that it'll be all over the media. Anytime we are the perpetrator, they're gonna put it out. But anytime
Won't
we
be
are the
blasted all
victim,
over the news.
when we're the victim, they're not gonna put it out.
No.
They're not gonna put it out. They gonna try to suppress it, and they gonna try to put out these narratives because if I knew I didn't do nothing, why would I lawyer up? Why would I need a lawyer? If you are innocent, the truth is gonna stand. You don't need
Yeah.
no lawyer for the truth to stand. It's too many holes in these stories. But these white people can sit on these panels on TikTok and they can say what they want to say, and they always the first thing they want to say is it ain't about race, but we all know what it is. And all these
Oh,
people want to holler they're not racist, and then we got these coons. We got these black men that's married to these white women. We got these black women that like white men, and they want to act like this is not happening. This is not real. That there's no such thing as white privilege, and that we can't that we are racist. No, we can't be racist because we have never oppressed nobody. We've never oppressed nobody. So where does that come in?
that's just that's a figment of their imagination.
But I know you got to go get you some rest. But before we go, I want you to pray for the Kendrick. His brother passed on yesterday, and his mom is sick. So we want to keep them lifted. That's why I'm stressing to individuals out there to join this anthology. They are not forgotten because there's so many people that are behind prison walls that sometimes feel forgotten because they're
Yes.
losing loved ones and they feel like no one is there for them. Oftentimes I get so many messages, I get so many calls, and yesterday it hurt my heart to hear LaKendrick, and he said he giving up on God. I told him don't give up on God. I said don't give up on God. I said because God ain't giving up on you. So I talked to
Exactly.
him, I prayed with him, and I was telling him, I said, you don't know what God is protecting you from on the outside. And I said, you don't know why he brought your brother home. Because God don't make no mistakes. And he will bring you home before he allow you to go through some stuff. And people don't understand that. People don't understand that because a lot of people can't handle some of the things that's getting ready to happen on this earth.
Mm-mm.
So when he feels like he need to bring you home to protect you, that's what he gonna do. Because he don't make mistakes. He don't make mistakes. But I want to encourage the listeners that are out there that may have a word of encouragement, that just may have something positive that they would like to share with someone behind prison walls, to join this anthology, to allow your voice to speak, whether it's a poem, whether it's a quote, whether it's a short message, a story, whatever it is that can encourage somebody. Because you never know what the next person is in need of and what can help that next person um, to gather some hope and to stay on this journey and to not give up and to let them know that they are not forgotten. So I need a lot of people because I'm looking for 133 voices And it's based on Hebrews 13:3, which says that, and I'm paraphrasing, that we are supposed to think about those that are behind prison walls, that we are supposed to be as if we were in bondage with them, that we were bound behind those walls too. So I encourage those that are out there. There is a $13.33 fee to be a part of this anthology. Some of us waste that on coffee. Some of us waste that on snacks every day. And those that do other stuff, we waste more than that. So I encourage you to put down some of those habits and allow those extra funds to empower somebody that's behind those prison walls, because you don't know that it may save a life. So that's all I want to say. Shanette, I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish up. And again, I thank you for pressing. I know it's a struggle sometimes for you, but I know the guys appreciate you getting out here and constantly sharing and talking about the injustice and bringing these things to light so that people can be aware.
Yeah, and that was my main focus, because sometimes I just feel like that I'm not being heard. What am I doing? What am I not doing to get their messages out there? you know. But when I talk to them, hey sis, you doing good. Just keep doing it. Just keep putting our message out there. Just keep putting it out there. Somebody finally gonna listen. Somebody finally gonna get a hold of it. And you know, but I tell you, what took me that made me took me back was Carmelo Anthony. That took me back. That took me down. But now I have to say, okay, you know what? We have I have to just come back. Like, no, this is not gonna stand. We got to continuously fight for what's right. We got to save our young men. We have to keep our young people out of these prisons. We have to keep them out. We have to find a solution. We need to come together as one to find a solution how to save our babies from prison. We have to. If we don't, we're going to lose them. And they not playing fair. They are handing down big time to our kids, to our babies. They stretching them out. And they using them to maintain the prisons, the yard, the just using them. And they not getting paid for it. And these men and women are, some of them are wrongfully convicted. Then another thing I want to this is going to be another thing I want to share with you guys. They they have church program where the different ministers can come inside of the prisons, and they can minister to them. Well, okay, not only do they have the different religions, they have people that's in there that worship Satan that does witchcraft and stuff. And they cannot say, the Department of Justice cannot do anything to stop them, because they feel that's part of their religion. That's their religion. The only thing they can't do, only thing that they can't do is someone like whatever they call they priest or whatever can't come into the prison, but they can stay in they little cells, or they can get together and they can practice that. So you got family members that's in prison. You need to pray over them constantly, because they are in the belly of the beast. And you don't know what's going on, what kind of juju or whatever they're trying to put on them. You got to constantly pray over them. When I found that out, that just floored me that they do that. They're in there in their own little room, in the auditorium, wherever they let them go, and they congregate, they come together, and they do their little worship ceremony with the witchcraft and the whatever they may in there. And then you have the other men that come in there that may work out. You don't know what they done did. So I just wanted to say that. But I see my laptop is going down. I forgot to charge it up. But I just want to say, you guys, please check on your loved ones that's currently incarcerated. Keep them lifted up in prayer. Send them a letter. Let them know that you guys are thinking of them. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Angela pertaining the anthology that Angela have. Remember, we want as many people to come and join us in sending some positive thoughts, encouraging words to them inside of this anthology. And for only $13.33, a small investment, and your words can be heard all over the world. You have a man or a woman that's depending to hear your testimony. Your testimony. Remember, you can catch me on the first and third Monday of every month. I'm going to make my commitment now that nothing is going to stop me from coming on here and getting their stories out. I'm going to fight with them. I'm going to stand with them. Even when my voice gets shaky. I love you guys. You guys stay blessed, stay safe, and stay prayed up. Until next time, be blessed.
What was kept in the dark can be brought through.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
Bring
it.
it to life.
Shayna W. Johnson
Speaking truth tonight.
for the voices.
For the